Alright guys, it's been a minute since I put something out there, but I think it's time to talk about a few different points in mindset and things that I think that'll help you develop in your personal professional growth, and things that I do sort of regularly as well, and a lot of benefit in terms of the application, the system, the mindset, things like that is so valuable. I just wanted to share some positivity, some motivation, some inspiration, some ways of thinking to help you get to the next level. Let's just dive right in. So, I'm a big believer in, essentially you'll become what it is you think about. So I think humans by nature, and obviously with myself, having a couple of different enterprises, I work with, teams of different ages, backgrounds, etc. And a lot of the time, I hear I can't, I won't. A lot of negative affirmations and projections of things that we can't do, as opposed to looking at opportunities as challenges. And that's the way you should really look at things. And it's human nature to ultimately, look at things in a negative light than a positive light. And that little switch of a mindset, it's a major difference between, being successful and obviously struggling and not being where you want to be. And that's why, in life there's only sort of, typically 5% of your top performers. And obviously, that's why so few of us are successful and where we want to be in life versus, the vast majority of us are living in a, sort of an enslaved sort of mindset and reality. And again, it's just simple. It comes down to sort of mindset, and our perception of life in terms of, what we think is achievable, what's attainable, and that application as well. Environmental factors, backgrounds, different situations obviously play a massive factor in this. However, this day and age, what we now 2024, you can see YouTube videos of stories, success stories of people that have, come from various different backgrounds, zero to hero, nothing to something, irrespective of, the country they're from, where they originated from, the cards that they've been dealt with, rags to riches. We've all seen plenty of them, so it's absolutely attainable, especially 2024. You got technology, you got AI, you got internet, you got mobile phone. Everything's a lot more attainable and achievable and realistic. It just comes down to how bad you want it, and if you do, what's stopping you. So with that being said, I just want to share some points that I think that will help you. This will definitely help me get me levels above where I once was. And I'm a giving man, I'm a sharing guy, so I want to share these thoughts and principles with you as well. So I think it's number one. It just comes down to your thoughts in terms of essentially what you're thinking about. What you'll become is essentially what you will become. If you think you'll be a failure, you don't think you'll be successful, that's absolutely the route that you'll take, versus if you think I'll be successful, whatever endeavour it is that might look like, and have a can-do attitude, that's absolutely the way that you'll end up. And obviously it takes a lot of courage as well. And I think a lot of the time, we all have goals and dreams and aspirations, especially when we're young, we're at school, etc. We say to our tutors and classes and lessons and things like that, we want to be an astronaut, scientist, whatever, then obviously for whatever reason, environmental factors, way of thinking, external factors as well, those dreams and realities tend to get, crushed, and then obviously we go a different route and end up working at Tesco's or wherever else, places that we don't want to be. But once upon a time as a child, we've always had aspirations. There's been no limiting factors that stopped us from, being where we, having that big dreams and ambitions and desires. And we just remind ourselves that that was us, that was our way of thinking. What's changed? So being courageous, concentrate on what your goal is, so figure out what it is you want to do, or just track back, cycle back to, several years back when you were younger, or whatever that looks like for you in terms of, where you wanted to be and, what your dreams were. Or if you didn't necessarily have anything planned out, stop for a minute and, have a think and think, right, where is it I want to be, in terms of like my life, my career. What is it I want to do? And just take a second to reflect and define that goal. And essentially, the world is out there, and it's your imagination in terms of where you want that to lead you. Your mind is a very powerful vehicle. We talk about AI and technology and stuff like that, and how it's outperforming humans. Reason being is humans operate at such a low level. That's why like things like AI are replacing people, because we're not thinking big. Your mind's so powerful. It's connected to everything. You know what I mean? When I say that, I'm referring to, it's not just the body, it's the soul, it's the environment, so many different factors. I'm not going to dive in too deep, but ultimately you should remember the world. It's massive, it's huge, in terms of the planet we live on, Earth, right? And just let your imagination run wild and think, why can't I be, or why can't I be this, why can't I be that? And let your mind soar. Like, what is it you're destined to be? Just sit down, take a second, reflect, close your eyes, whatever that looks like, and just hone in on what is it you've been put on this world to do. If it's pushing trolleys at Sainsbury's, or stacking shelves at Tesco's, or making pizzas at Domino's or whatever, then you've just set your standard not even at zero. It's like negative 1,000, isn't it? You know what I mean? So just concentrate on goals in that regard, and then obviously that'll help give you some purpose and definition, and something that you can help motivate yourself in terms of this is what I want to do. And you can wake up every day and obviously affirm that. You need to remind yourself, because we live in a society where it's so easy to be a part of the system and fall into the trap of, look, I need to go to uni, spend 3 years studying a course that is just going to waste of time and money and all that sort of stuff, and then in debt, and then obviously then student loans and stuff like that you got to pay for, and you get nowhere. You want to avoid that. So ultimately, just to recap, become what it is you want to think about. So if it's an astronaut, live that, be that every single day. Be courageous. It's not easy to be successful. That's why there's so few of us that are in that sort of top 5%. So be courageous and concentrate on that goal every single day. Affirmations first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Review that goal. You should be sleeping thinking about what it is you want to do. You should wake up the same, feeling the same. And it's consistency as well. We're not talking about staying motivated. It's disciplined, regimented. Yeah. And reinforce that. You want to build positive habits in your mindset, and that happens with time and consistency and persistence, and having a bit of faith, whether you're religious or not. Believe in yourself. That's not a big ask, is it, in that regard? And again, if you have like actions in terms of ideas and things that you want to do, and you've come up with something, you've brainstormed, swap notes with friends, or whatever that looks like, implement, take action, and put something together. If you've got an idea, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to set up a shop, you want to, I don't know, create a business or products or a service, whatever, just get to it in that regard, because without the actual action of the implementation of the action, it's just worthless. And there's so many people with great ideas and aspirations and things that they want to do and they plan to do, and they never sort of come around to doing that. And it's just a waste of time and potential. So action, implementation, act straight away. If you have an idea or something that you think that's worth pursuing and chasing, you need to sort of take action straight away and implement that and pursue it and be consistent and persistent. It's a journey, and the quicker you take action, the quicker you'll get results. Don't be one of those people where you let time fly, and then it gets too late, and then you think, oh, okay, I can't do this now for whatever reason. Especially when you're young. Had I had the information that I had 10 years ago, I'd be retired in Dubai somewhere by now. It's just like there's so much opportunity these days, and it's just a shame to let them slip by. But yeah, action, implementation. If you don't implement action, it's just a waste of time. And again, just to sort of expand on that and compound further, think about what it is you actually want. Define that. What does that look like for you? It would be different to me. It would be different to yourself, your mum, your dad, your siblings, your partner. Make sure it's very crystal clear. It could be financial, it could be personal, it could be spiritual. Define that like goal, and remind yourself every single day in terms of what that looks like, so you know what it is. Make sure it's specific, make sure it's measurable, and obviously, have a time frame in which you can implement that, and obviously it's something to work towards and stay motivated day in and day out, and the rest will manifest. If you just stay focused on the task in hand, things will fall into play. It's it's law of attraction, isn't it? And if you have that mindset of being in that top 5% and you're goal driven and your mindset's just focused and locked into where you want to get to, distractions and things that are going to hold you back are going to naturally fall out of place. So again, nothing's impossible. So the only sort of failure you'll have is by not thinking anything's possible. So having that mindset as well. Again, like when you sort of step into your aspirations, your challenges, your business, your endeavors, there's going to be challenges, but what you don't want to do is have like a fearful approach towards that. And fear is crippling ultimately, and it impacts the way you think, behave, act, feel. So ultimately, you got to have a can-do. You got an attitude. You got to act with conviction. Fear has to be in the back of your mindset. I mean, fear's for kids, isn't it? Ghosts under the bed and all that sort of stuff. You can't be afraid to fail. You've got to push through boundaries and take a leap of faith. And I've spoken to so many people who had big dreams and ambitions, and they're just, for whatever reason, fear of failure has overcome the greatness of having success out of what it is they've been looking to do. So very important. Also as well, it's just like maintain composure. Like anger is such it's such a destructive force. So many things can happen that are not planned, by losing sort of control of the situation. So again, the flip side to that is, when you're on this journey, there is times where you could be at distress or angry, frustrated, whatever that but ultimately it's a case of you've got to keep calm, keep happy, keep cheerful, be optimistic, and don't let petty things disrupt you. There's levels, isn't there? And even myself back in the day, little things would bother me, and that obviously have a detriment to my day. I'd be I'd get pissed off and angry and irritated and agitated, and it would just take my mindset off course. The things that are not important, is just very important to just shift them away and not even address it. Calm, cheerful, goal driven, and that's what's going to get you the results as well. A lot of you are probably thinking, this sounds like a lot of effort, application, there's easier ways to get by in life. You think anyway, in terms of not making sacrifices for the long-term success. But ultimately, you think about the alternative solution. The other option is, if you don't pursue, the greatest version of yourself, effectively you're just going to become a failure. And no one wants to be a failure, and no one wants to worry, whether it be financial, stress, business, emotional, relationships, and all the frustration that comes with it as well. So you've got to think of it as actually two options. You can look at short-term gratification, or long-term sacrifice and long-term success. It's as simple as that. There's no get rich quick, easy solutions, etc. But ultimately, that's what you're going against. If you don't act now and take decision, action, and implementation, you're just going to live a miserable life. You're just going to become a statistic, part of the economy, the government, numbers, stat, go through the motions, and live a miserable life and die. Answering to a boss in terms of, when I can take holiday, getting, like working 60 hours a week or whatever it is you do. It's just, that's not for me. But it's a lot of people submit to that and think, right, that is just life, where it doesn't have to be. But if that's not you, then take on board what I'm saying, listen to what I've said over and over, and just implement and act. As cliche as it sounds, work, dream, and create. You've got a mind, it's expansive. Work fucking hard on what it is you're passionate about, and dream big. Like we've heard the saying before, aim for the stars, reach the moon, and just create magic. We're so creative and we're so imaginative in terms of what we can offer and what we can deliver and what we can do. We're blessed with the ability to do anything we want, and there's anything that's stopping us is ourselves. So think of the two solutions. You can either be successful, take some short-term sacrifice, or the other option is do fuck all, stay where you are, be miserable, and you know, it's as simple as that, isn't it? Or the, you know, like the opportunity to better your life is so easy. It's just a case of how bad you want it. And I'm reaffirming the same points over and over, because it's habitual, isn't it? Humans, you got to like drill things into people's head for them to sort of take note and take action. But it's a game, isn't it? And it's so easy. And I'm essentially giving you the cheat codes. You know, it's took me nearly 33 years to figure out what I'm sharing and what I've learned, and I'm still on the learning journey. But had I had this information 10 years ago, I'd be happily retired, and you wouldn't see me on an iPhone camera. I'd be doing other things, you know. But again, you know, it's about giving back and sharing information to help the next generation. I'm just gonna finish up with a few steps that will obviously help you realise success. Number one, set yourself a definitive goal. Okay, so whatever that goal looks like to you, it doesn't necessarily have to be financially based. It could be emotional, relationship, whatever. Get that defined, right? Figure out what it is you want to do, what your purpose is. Number two, stop going hard on yourself, man. You don't need to. I notice it all the time working with people, and obviously my team and things like that. They'll be quick to say, "Oh, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I can't." You know, ultimately, stop running yourself down. You know, like, I can, I'm this, I'm that, I'm great, I'm fantastic. You know, that's what you should be saying. Like, you should be your biggest cheerleader. And I don't understand, like, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. That's number two. Number three, stop thinking about the reasons why you can't succeed. You know, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that, I'm not capable, I'm not competent, whatever. Just think about, you know, like, the reasons why you can. So flip that mindset. Don't think of it like, you know, I can't because of this, I can't because of that. Think of it as I can because of this, I can because of that. You know, it's just change your mindset. It's just a little tiny little switch, but I think it's such a massive difference. And this is the difference between, you know, success. It's so simple. It's just implementing, you know, these simple steps. Right, next, if there's a point where in life, whether it be through family, childhood experiences, whatever, that, you know, someone's put you down, or parents or whatever said, like, look, you can't do this because of that, just think about, when was that time, what did that look like? Was there, you know, trying to identify that point where you kind of told yourself you can't be this or you can't be that. And then once you've identified that, acknowledge it, and then reflect on it, and then just shift that mindset and just scratch it off. It's not applicable, right? It's just false perception. So change that. Next, change the image. So obviously, if you want to be a successful individual based on your goal, what does that image look like, right? You're not going to be successful if you dress like shit, your presentation's poor, you talk poorly. Granted, I swear here and there, but I'm just keeping it real, just to relate to you guys and just talking to you guys on a level. But ultimately, you know, change your image. Like, you know, if you want to be a successful businessman in the financial industry, dress and look appropriately. Do you know what I mean? Simple things. Look the part that you want to be. Again, that'll help with the whole manifestation and living the life that you want to. And then finally, act the person you want to be. So if you're, you know, starting a new business, for argument's sake, and you have big ambitions to be, I don't know, FTSE 100 listed company, or the next biggest activewear brand, or whatever that looks like, start being the part. You know, if you want to be a company director, you know, like, you need to behave and change accordingly. You can't be the school leaver, the college grad, university dropout. You know, you can't be that same person to get that same sort of success. You've got to be the part, right? And that's got to come from yourself. You've got to act and behave accordingly. You can't act like a clown and expect to get, you know, like, big boy results. There's levels, and, you know, you just got to think about image, behavior, action, implementation. But again, it all comes down to that initial goal setting as well. Lastly, yeah, you know, like, there is sacrifice, and it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay the price and to become the person that you want to be. And again, that's different for everyone. You know, so, you know, whether that's, you know, compromising, you know, nights out with friends, late nights with some girls, what I don't know, whatever it looks like. You know, like, putting away those desserts, and, you know, like, you know what I mean, like, all the comforts and easy, you know, like, whatever that looks like, you got to make sacrifices, right? And you make the sacrifices short term, you have a long term gain. If you're looking at it like, And look, success doesn't come without sacrifice. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. And again, advice to my younger self would be a case of sacrifice young, so you're set up for the rest of your life. You want to be wealthy and healthy, and you want to, enjoy the sort of, the fruits of your labour, and prosper accordingly. But you've got to be realistic. Let's just say if you wanted to be like a fitness coach, and like you look like shit, you eat shit, you're not prepared to, put down the muffin, the desserts, the cookies, whatever. You're not going to look the part, and this is what we mean by sacrifice. Or other things as well, like if you're working on a new business and you're more interested in going out to the strip clubs and having drinks with your friends and stuff like that, and then you come into the next work, you're written off, and you're 4 days behind, and this is what we mean by sacrifice. Like, again, you got to define that for yourself, depending on the route, the goal, like you've obviously set. But ultimately, you've got to be realistic and pragmatic in your approach. But ultimately, if you're not, if you're not prepared to sacrifice, like for a better future, then you'll sacrifice later for a worse future. It's as simple as that. It's Pareto's law, 80-20. For me, like I said, like again, if I could go back 10 years, this is exactly what I'll be telling my younger self. So obviously these are the steps that I've implemented to get to where I've got to. I'm still on a journey, I'm still learning, I'm still developing, I'm still humbling my growth. But again, if I could share and inspire and help one person, then that's obviously a job well done. Think about what I said, hit the pause, go back, make notes, implement, and just time to turn things around. But yeah, that's all for now. And just a quick little off the dome freestyle, no scripts, just want to share some open thoughts. That's the best way, just keep it real. And yeah, till the next video.